Hey guys, it's Lord here, back again with another review, and today we'll be taking a look at the MEGO Corp hammer Frankenstein monster. That's right, all you sons of bitches who keep commenting on my MEGO Frankenstein videos can shut the hell up. I know the difference between the monster and the doctor. The shit's getting old, okay? Just saying. I know you're just trying to, prove a point, but your boy's not stupid. He knows the difference. But, that said, this is the last MEGO review with this old format. Now, this old video format's not really the old video format. It's going to be pretty much the same. I'm just going to spice it up a bit. Just add a little bit of spice. A little pinch. Just a pinch. Make my videos a little bit more interesting. Maybe maintain your attention a little bit better. So you watch the whole video, because that's the point. But, yeah, this is one of the last MEGO videos I'll be doing with the current video format. So, there you go. Further delaying the inevitable Motu Origins Wave 7 videos I already recorded. I gotta tell you, though, getting skits done for those videos is a pain. A right pain in my ass. So that's why those aren't up yet. That's why I did the Stone Cold the other day. Well, Cygor is kind of a given. I always do Throwback Thursdays. But that's why those aren't up just yet. I need to record the skits, and I just haven't had either the time or enthusiasm or willingness to really do it, because I gotta tell you, they take longer to edit than the reviews themselves, which is kind of interesting because they're not that long, most of them. They're like a minute or less. We're talking about Frankenstein here. Now that we're done talking about all the irrelevant crap that goes around on this channel, it's cool. It's very basic. And I always thought this Frankenstein had like a shirtless look with like a big old kind of metal plate over his heart, not a pea coat. I don't think there's any paint underneath the undershirt either, otherwise I would strip him down and take a look-see. But he is essentially the Boris Karloff base body, right down to the hands. So the traditional Universal monsters of Frankenstein, at least I think those are the hands. Could be wrong. And then the shoes are definitely different. These are more like, do I want to say combat boots? They're not like the bulky boots like the Target Frankenstein, but they're not the big platform shoes like the Boris Karloff either, so they're in between there. I don't know, maybe these are the same as the Target one, but either way, it's different enough, It goes with the rest of the Hammer figures. And I guess there's a Hammer mummy. Someone left a comment on one of my older videos, MEGO videos, that they were getting a Hammer mummy. And I actually thought they were referring to this guy, but no, there is a legit Hammer mummy coming. So, the more you know, I guess. But as far as articulation on this guy goes, you know how it is. It's MEGO. Has a rotation in the head. I will say, oh, he's still got a bit of a neck. I was going to say his head seems to sit a little bit better on the body than some of these, but that's because he's got the collar and the shirt going on. His arms will move forward and back. I'm still waiting for them to go to that ball hinge, but this guy, I can move his arms up without a ton of issue, so I wonder if his shirt's sleeveless. And his peacoat here is, I think his shirt is sleeveless. That's why I'm able to do that. But sometimes they'll put sleeves on the shirts too. And that will make the arms a pain in the butt to get up like this. But this guy can reach out for you and give you a big old hug. Yeah, I appreciate that. I don't mind the sleeveless shirt thing. It might seem a bit cheap to some people, but it allows the arms to actually frickin' move. That or they strung him correctly, because shout out to my bud John Wild. He tends to restring these, so I wonder if they haven't finally started stringing them the right way. He's got a single bend in the elbow. Any looseness? Not really. Sometimes you get a little bit of loose elbow. I don't know how to fix that on these. I only know how to fix that on like a figure with PVC hinges, because you can just heat and pinch those up most of the time. It depends. But this guy doesn't seem to have loose elbows, so that's nice. He does also have a hinge in the wrist and rotation, which works fine. He's got the kind of ball-jointed diaphragm thing going on. Then his hips are pretty restricted from the P coat, but you can always look that up if you want and get the full range. You do gotta kind of pop them back. They seem to pop out the socket a little easier than some MEGOs I have, so there is that. He's got a single joint at the knee, and then he's got a hinge in the foot, which actually gets a little bit of range, and the boots kind of help him from just flopping over. So yeah, really cool. Nice to have another Hammer figure. I'm probably going to have to pick up that freaking Mummy now, even though my money's kind of tight and times are hard, and here's your late-ass Christmas card. But I gotta tell you, man, I like the Hammer stuff. It's nice to have something different. Not a lot of people are doing the Hammer figures, so I'm very glad to be adding some to my collection. Speaking of which, I do have the other two I have currently out for comparison. So with that being said, let's actually take a look-see at the head sculpt quick. He doesn't have the bolts either. That's a side note. He doesn't really have the bolts, not that I can tell anyways. And he's got more of a normal kind of flat top and more like an army cut looking thing going on. He doesn't have like the pronounced forehead that we're used to seeing with Frankenstein, so a little bit more normal as far as proportions go, I guess, but not too shabby. Not too shabby at all. I dig him. I think he's cool. But with that being said, as we always do, let us now take a look at some comparisons. First up, here is our Hammer Frankenstein monster next to the other two Hammer figures I've already reviewed and that MEGO has put out. There is the lizard woman, or the reptile, whatever that thing was called. I'm not sure what movie that's from, but that's the only one I don't have, and it's not really my cup of tea. It's more sci-fi than kind of classic horror, which is really my bread and butter when it comes to MEGOs. But we, of course, have the Peter Cushing Van Helsing and the Christopher Lee Dracula, which are probably two of my favorite MEGO figures of 2021. I apologize, I didn't actually think about doing a top 10 MEGOs of 2021 video. Maybe I'll have to do that at a later date, because I gotta recollect what exactly came out last year. I know Mask of the Red Death did, right? And the Boris Karloff Frankenstein, and the Lon Chaney Wolfman, Dr. Frankenstein and Igor from Young Frankenstein, the Boris Karloff Mummy. The Bride of Frankenstein is probably my least favorite, just because mine kind of fell apart on me. Willy Wonka, didn't he come out last year too? So I guess I could be doing a MEGO top 10 in the future. We'll see. But yeah, kind of an afterthought at this point. But while I do know that this is the Frankenstein monster and not the Doctor, unlike some of you who watch my old videos, what is the gentleman's name who portrayed this version of the Frankenstein monster? I would like to know. I don't know. I know Peter Cushing, mostly from Star Wars, and I know Christopher Lee, mostly from Lord of the Rings. But I do not know who played this version of the Frankenstein monster, so please let me know in the comments below if you do know who that is. And last, but certainly not least, we have our two irregulars, the Mythic Legion's Brother Mandibulus and the Loving Spawn, who is not towering over everyone today. He's been towering over most of the figures I took a look at this past week, though. Right? Actually, with the exception of Armadillo, yeah, he pretty much has been. Well, that being said, let's now wrap things up. Some final thoughts. Overall, and if you're like me and are trying to get as many of the horror-related Hammer figures that MEGO Corp is putting out at this current time, then this is a definite must-have for you. Again, I'm not too sure what that reptile woman figure is, But it looks cool, but I think it's more on the sci-fi side of things as opposed to horror. But, let me know in the comments below if it's more horror or sci-fi. But as far as the horror stuff goes that I already have, Dracula and Van Helsing being the other two, this guy definitely fits in with them, and I'm more than likely going to have to try and pick up that Mummy at some point. I don't know if it'll be soon, because I'm kind of tight on funds, and I can't really be pre-ordering a whole heck of a lot right now. And that's mostly because of Four Horsemen. Thanks a lot, guys. Just bend my wallet over the sink and take it. That said, though, if you are collecting MEGO monster figures, then you gotta pick this guy up. The Hammer films are kind of essential when it comes to horror, and I think are really an inspiration for a lot of modern interpretations of the classic Universal monster type characters. I mean, let's be real here. A lot of comic book companies and or newer movies draw inspiration more so from these more independent horror film designs. I think mostly because Universal Studios has a hardcore copyright on their particular looks for the characters, but I could be wrong. Well, that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this review. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. And if you are so inclined, please hit that notification bell so you know whenever I upload more reviews like this one, because we gotta show that algorithm who's boss, right? If you haven't already, hit me up on Instagram at Overlord Productions. But as always, keep the comments civil, because the world sucks enough as it is. And until next time, I'll catch you guys later.